Hello, welcome back. We're going to do a bit of puzzle training. Should we do puzzles, normal puzzles? So let's do a bit of puzzle training. Okay, I've got a 3565 rating. So what we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves 5 minutes max to think about the puzzle. The whole idea is really you've got to basically use a lot of process elimination. So so firstly you identify counter moves and you try and refute them. You try and see why is there anything wrong with that move. Okay, so the first thing I'm drawn to is some kind of sacrifice. If I take with that knight, do they hit me with bishop h6? Maybe then I'll come across queen g2 threatening queen g, bishop h6, yeah. If I take with that knight, you take that, you take. You have options like queen d6, but is queen d6 winning? I don't think it is it? Because of so knight gf6, bishop f6, knight f6, king f6, right? Now if I go, if I yawn, I'm tired actually, just did the chess club. There's a couple of amazing talents actually in the chess club. There's a few that could be very promising. The problem with, as I explained to kids there, the problem with all these kids is it's like a Sisyphus task when you're coaching primary school kids, because a lot of them will end up quitting chess. You know, I was chatting to a friend of mine called David Eggleston. He coached at another school in Newcastle. He was saying that the vast majority will just end up stopping chess during secondary school. And so when you look at chess players who are good chess players, they're the ones who it's almost like it's almost like the sperm race. There's a few sperm that get through. There's one sperm that gets through, and you're that one sperm, and it's a little bit like that with chess. It's like most chess players who start off at school, wherever, they end up quitting. So we're like the good ones. We're like the ones who kept going. Actually, there's another problem with this move that I'm noticing, is that if you take there, they've got rook d4. So that's why it's worth thinking for a little bit. I could take this way. No, it's wrong. I kind of rushed that one a bit, didn't I? What about this move? Also wrong. What about this move? That was correct, yeah. It's actually quite simple, yeah. I'm overthinking it. So I did maybe vaguely consider this idea with a kind of discovery, but yeah. Maybe a little bit out of practice with these puzzles. I feel very tired. I tend to get quite tired in general. This idea is like moving the bishop back and then playing g5, so that's the first. Is there anything wrong with that? I can't see anything wrong with it, so I'm going to go for it. Right. Okay. Some of them you get a feel for that is obvious, but others you think, no, I need to spend a bit more time on this. So he's attacked the queen, or Dave attacked the queen. It's a computer, so it's not like, it's got like its own brain. So there's queen g5 is a move. The queen g5, they can go knight h5. Now, the other move, which is obvious, is knight h6 check, and then they go king g7. Now, I'm wondering if there's something like rook f6. Or queen g5 is an option there as well, but again, looks a bit obscure. So queen g5, knight h5, there is bishop f3. But maybe they can go queen f4. Yeah, it's all a bit confusing. Especially when you've got a small brain. So knight h6, king g7, rook takes f6. They can either take on h6 or f6. Also, I can't see a win even if they just take on f6, so I don't see why that's winning. Like, you have rook f1, but then they go back to g7. So, but I'm wondering why queen g5 is a good... I mean, queen g5 is kind of like the most obvious move, most natural move, right? So I'm going to try queen g5. No, that's wrong. Fuck's sakes. It is this, but maybe you just go queen g5 here, yeah. Stupid. And now rook f7, yeah. Maybe I'm a little bit rusty with these. Not very good so far. Okay, there's back rank ideas like rook check, king b2, a5, threatening. You come down with the rook. But a5 is maybe not as good because they can go rook check and take on c7 with counterplay. But if you go rook check and c5, then they're struggling for counterplay. Is that the idea? That feels more natural, right? And then, yeah, they'll end up giving up the rook or something just to prevent the mate. So you can go rook here. You don't need to go a5. I mean, maybe a5 is also... Oh no, a5 they start hitting the rooks. So you have to act immediately. Yeah. Right, okay. But I'm at that kind of rating where it starts to become difficult to gain, I've noticed. So it's quite easy to get here. I found it quite easy to get here, but now it's tougher to gain. So this is actually a test. Yeah, I was chatting. Somebody mentioned I had a suicide video, and they said, "Oh, you know, they found the title offensive." Or, I mean, to be fair, I agree with you. It's not really meant to be a serious thing, but maybe I should change the title because I know suicide is a serious subject. I've had depressive thoughts myself. That's probably where a lot of the anger comes from, because anger is kind of like inner rage. You know, there's something underneath that is making you unhappy. A lot of people get depressed. I certainly suffer from depression. I think it's partly hereditary. I think there's a family history of depression in my family. I've known people who've committed suicide. Unfortunately, I had a couple of friends from school. One threw himself in front of a train. That was very sad. And he was about 21 at the time. Another one that I actually met in another friend of mine I met in Sainsbury's in Lewisham. Or actually in Lee Green actually, and funny, I hadn't seen him in years, right? And this guy called Liam. His mum had died of cancer a few years ago, so it was just him and his dad at that time. He lived down the road from me in Manor Lane. And he ended up, so I saw him he was really happy. He was like really upbeat, you know, almost too happy. And obviously I didn't read the sign. I said, "Oh, how's it going, Danny? Yeah, I haven't seen you, mate. Yeah, yeah." And I knew he'd been into drugs. He had problems and stuff. But yeah, it was very sad because I found out the very next day he killed himself. And yeah, very real shock, especially when you haven't seen somebody for years, and then you see him, and then the very next day they kill themselves. It's almost like you're the reason. So it's like, wow, that was like really shocking. Yeah. So I'm kind of familiar with these kind of things. So I don't try to trivialise them by anyway. I'm distracting myself. The puzzle. So what is the forced win? This moves like knight g7, but they allow knight d3, d3. So there's knight g7, d3, knight e8, they can take on e2. So I'm not seeing what... I mean, in a normal game, I go knight... Like, you often ask yourself with these puzzles, you know, it's easy when you know there's a forced win, but like, what move would you play in a game? Like, I would probably just take the pawn on d4. And it might not be winning, but it doesn't look to be losing either. Because if they go b5, you can go queen b4. But maybe it's not winning. Maybe it gives away the advantage. And maybe there's something even stronger. But I'm not seeing anything that obvious. I can play moves like f4. But I don't see what... yeah, again, why is knight g7 so strong anyway? You can just move the rook. So I'm going to try knight takes d4, but it might be wrong. No, it's correct. Okay, so my impression was you could go queen b4 here to defend the knight. I think you don't really want to go queen d1 and pin yourself. So queen b4 looks like the most natural response. Okay, they're going to Harry-Kiri. That's always a good sign. So, the idea is rook f2 to bishop e3, which is actually not bad, right? But it's king f2 a move. I mean, they do have knight e4 check, but then I just moved a king. So you suspect that king takes is good enough. Okay, so I got that one right. That's good. So the idea is you move the king, he's going to go queen the pawn, right? So the question is, where do you move the king to? You could go king d3, actually. But then they queen the pawn. Probably don't knight the pawn. And then if queen b4, they got king a2. But then you got rook f2, which probably is winning, right? Because king. So I'm wondering why king f2 isn't also winning. But if they queen, you don't have queen b4. Well, you do, but it's not winning because after queen b4, then go queen b2 check. So this is how you destroying ideas. So king f2, pawn equals queen, queen b4, queen b2. And if queen f5, then queen c2. You can go rook b3, but they go king c2 or king a2 even, because they're covering the c a3 square. So my guess is it must be king d3. But king d3, any rook check, you can just go take the rook. Queen, and then queen b4. But they still have... yeah, they still have queen b4. They have queen b2, but... also, if they queen, you could maybe just go rook f1 and maybe win that way, right? Because how do they... they got rook e1. I think it's king d3 anyway. So the question is now, what do you play? Because queen b4, they do have queen b2. That feels like the only move. And then if rook f1, they go king a2. And the problem is if we go queen a4, they go queen a3. And if you go queen c4, they go queen b3. And both lines are drawn. So unless you got any good move after... So it feels like you have to try rook f1. Rook f1 is winning because if rook e1, you have queen b4 there, and then you win the rook. Right. And if a rook did a check, I don't think it's going to change anything. You can just move the king, king up. King e4 probably. Yeah, so it must be this. So king e4. Probably winning. And this is another... I don't really want to go here, because that allows rook check. So I'll go here. Yeah, that's winning, yeah. Okay, so I've got a few right in a row. There's queen f3, knight e5, knight c4. That's a simple one. Right. Yeah, so the whole thing about suicide. Yeah, because I was talking about Sisyphus' task. The myth of Sisyphus. I don't know, probably Sisyphus. So Sisyphus was a character from Greek mythology who was doomed to roll a rock up a hill for all eternity. And I think Albert Camus wrote a famous book called The Myth of Sisyphus. So he's talking about whether... It was a very depressing book. I didn't really like the book, to be honest. But it was about whether it's, it's a good idea to kill yourself or not. So, yeah, even it was depressing even for me. Maybe I got a little niche about the most depressing channel on YouTube. But, yeah. Yeah, Albert Camus. I think he's famous for other books like The Trial, The Plague. Did he write? Maybe that was another one. I think that was another one of his, right? Probably more enlightening than The Myth of Sisyphus. Another book I read when I was younger, it was quite depressing, was Le Nausée by Jean-Paul Sartre. This book about this guy who's kind of having a bit of a mental breakdown. Yeah, finds life disgusting, nauseous. It's a fascinating book. I thought it was a brilliant book, actually. Brilliant novel. And one of my favourite books I've ever read. There's also the Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, a German writer. About this guy who falls madly in love with this woman, but she doesn't reciprocate the love and he ends up killing himself. Yeah, fairly depressing books anyway. I think the main reason I'm talking about all this is to distract myself from this puzzle which I'm unable to get. So, Bishop d3 is a move. There's also Queen g4. Queen g4, they can go g6. Obviously, you could play Bishop d3 there, which looks reasonably promising because you got all these threats, but I'm just wondering why. What am I missing here? I feel like I'm missing something obvious. Queen g4, g6. If you go knight h5, they can go f5. Yeah, it feels like it could be something really, really strong here. I mean, again, in a normal game, I'd probably go Bishop d3 or something. Feeling like that's maybe good enough to win. Also, Queen g4 to have d4, that's another option. There's maybe even Bishop g7. So again, you're looking for candidate moves, you're looking for checks and captures. There's not really many checks and captures here other than Bishop g7. Bishop g7, King g7, Queen g4, King h8. I find with puzzles, you know, eventually, like if you spend long enough, you often find a key idea. It's like there's a key idea in every puzzle. But if you don't see it, if you never see it, then you're probably never going to get it right. So it's Bishop d3, but then they can go... One of the ideas with Bishop d3 is to trap the Queen with Bishop b1. But the problem is they could go like d4 anyway, like d4, Bishop b1, and then give up the Queen for loads of material. But maybe they can't. Maybe you just win too much material, right? You probably win too much material, though it's not 100% certain. Like Bishop d3, d4, Bishop b1, take on c3. Oh, sorry, like maybe Queen b1. Yeah, so I'm going to try Bishop d3 because I don't see a simple way for them to avoid losing the Queen. What's the difference? Why can't I go Bishop c4? Why is that not just as good? What am I missing? So Bishop b1. I mean, is that not just as good as Bishop c4? Isn't that like an alternative solution? But what am I missing? Other than a brain cell. Yeah, I'm struggling to see what the difference is. Right, Bishop b1, it looks winning, right? Oh, unless they got Queen e6. And then you take with check, and then you take on c3. So maybe it's better to go Bishop c4 to avoid this kind of Queen e6 idea. Fuck off. I need to analyse that one. How do I analyse that puzzle? Because I don't understand what the difference is. Oh, that's pathetic. Yeah, I should have seen that there was this. Because my original instinct was Bishop b1. But then I saw this Bishop c4 move. It reminds me of that game I had against... yeah, so Bishop c4. Yeah, I should be destroying. That's what I'm saying about you destroy. You look for what's wrong with the puzzle. And Yeah, I didn't see knight c2 because I was only looking at, oh, if you go here, they go queen e6, but that's not going to be good enough anyway. Because you're still going to be loads of material down. So bishop, that's not what's wrong with the puzzle. What's wrong with the puzzle is that bishop c4, they go knight c2. And actually, that knight c2 move is very annoying because you take with the queen, they go queen a1. And if you take on a2, they go knight e3 and take on d1. So that's very, very poor by me. Right, let's see if we can just... I should be getting these... I think I'm better at the tactical puzzles than the endgame puzzles from experience, but... Okay, rook d2 is a very obvious check. There's also queen d4 check. With queen d4, they will escape to g3. Escape to victory. So my first thought is, why doesn't rook d2, king g1, knight e2 win? Well, then they... Yeah, rook d2, king g1, knight e2, king h1, knight g3, because then they go king g1, right? This is the problem. Oh, wait, hang on, there's a very clever idea here. You go knight h3, bishop h3, rook d2. So again, what I was saying about, yeah, if I rush this one, I'll probably get it wrong, but once you start thinking, if you see the key idea, once you see knight h3, you realise it's just winning. So that's just game over. Right, so I'm making progress. I'm trying to get to 3600 in puzzles. Can I get to 3600? That's my aim for today. Now I'm getting tired as well. This moves like c4. I've always got excuses. I'm not the world champion of excuses. So yeah, has anyone read that novel, Le Nausée? I should read more novels, actually. I miss reading novels. I don't read enough. I spend too much time studying chess and doing Puzzle Rush and stupid stuff. And you only get one life. But obviously I've got to do some training on the chess as well, right? Because my chess has been declining of late. And to be like a top player, you've got to do a lot of training. But yeah, Le Nausée. There's also, he wrote this play called In Camera. That's where this famous saying comes from. Hell is other people. So in Camera, there's 3 people and they're all locked in a room for all eternity. And it's 2 women and a guy. And the guy is like got a thing for the heterosexual woman as a lesbian in it. And so he's kind of like in love with a woman from memory, or it's something like that, which isn't reciprocated or something. And the idea really is like a basic, simple play where like hell is other people, essentially. Yeah, this one's a very tough one actually. So the basic idea is that black wants to give checkmate. If you play like a nothing move, you're going to get checkmated, or you're going to allow loads of checks at least. Like you could maybe go queen g7 or something. So you need something clever where you're either going to exchange queens or you're going to give checkmate, or something good is going to happen. Okay, so what can we eliminate? So queen e5, they go king a6. Okay, you do have queen d6 then. So there's variations like queen e5, king a6, queen d6, with the idea that if bishop c6, you go queen d3 check. And I imagine after queen e5, they can't go to, well, they could go to c5. Sorry, b6, I mean. I don't think they go, yeah, so queen e5, if bishop d5, there's c4 check. So normally the gut feeling is to centralise the queen. There is also queen e8, that's the other candidate move. Queen e8, I'm not seeing anything after bishop c6. Queen b8, maybe, yeah. So I feel like it must be this. This is why I wanted to go here, right? So if I exchange queens with queen d3, then I win. Yeah, so I got that one right, that's good. Okay, so I can't go like rook a2 or anything clever like that, because they can just mate me. In general, I want to distract that rook on A1, sorry, but actually they can also take with the rook, so that's no good. Actually, this rook D1 is interesting move, because rook D1, if they trade king F2, you have rook A2 then. So it feels like you start with this. Okay, there's rook A2, they go king E3, right? Only move. However, the king is the general rule. When the king starts marching up the board, you're going to win. Like, not always, but it's a win certainly if you have enough time to work it out. I mean, once I had a rapid play game against Mark Hebden, and it was in the casino in Huddersfield. It was a tournament I'd won before, but yeah, Mark was a tough opponent, and he sort of ran his king up, and at the key moment I was short of time, and I couldn't work out how to win. I think it was winning, and I screwed it up and lost. It was very frustrating. Yeah, that was in a casino where all the sort of like lights were going on, and there was lots of noise, and it was quite distracting. But rook A2. Okay, rook A2, king E3. Can we work out the win without moving the pieces? Probably it moves up rook E8. They can go bishop E7, which is annoying. So rook A2, king E3. What checks do we have? We can't take on G2. Clearly, we'd like to, but the problem is we've got queen C8 check, which is highly annoying. Yeah, I'm not seeing an obvious win here. I think if I had limited time here, again, like I say, if it was a rapid play game, actually you can just take the pawn. Maybe you just take. That's the clever win. You just take. You take the bishop, because that kills all the counterplay. Like when you don't see something forcing, you've got that as a backup option, right? It's in chess very important, because then the threat is strong in the execution. Yeah, now I should be winning because I can just take, and I can win material. I just trade and take on G2. Yeah, so chess, you should be looking for simple solutions. Okay. Where is my forced win here? Maybe I don't have one. There's clever ideas here, but I don't see anything that obvious. This one's tough. There's queen E1 actually. Queen E1 threatens rook G3. And if they go queen E7, yeah, maybe you can just go queen E4 check. So I'll try queen E1. I don't see anything else. Okay. Right, clever. Clever. Is queen E4 check? They have to go king H3. Well, or F3 is only two moves. But F3 will get mated. King H3. Queen G4, king G2. But then at least you're covering the threats, right? So then maybe you have some nasty move. So I'll try queen E4, that looks obvious. It's just that. They're not asking for any more moves. Because now you're covering the threat, so you have time to do other moves. And maybe there is something but it's kind of obscure after king G2 what your next move is actually. Fascinating. I'm so fascinated by all this. I will carry on, we've got 13 points left. The world is riveted. Amazes isn't on pay-per-view. So rook on F8 to F1 is the most obvious candidate move. However, they can push the pawn. There's also another idea, which is G4 first. G4. Yeah, look for other moves. You see a strong move, is a great advice. You see a strong move, look for another move. G4. They take, you bring the rook down to F1. They have to go g3. Only move. Now if rook check, king h3, king g2, sorry. Rook h1, king g2. I'm just wondering if the problem with rook f1 is just g4, simply. And then rook check, king g2. I mean, you could go rook check, and then king f2, and it gets a bit slow. Slows down a bit. But after g4, hg, rook f1, g3, rook check, king g2, you've got h3. Feels winning somehow, right? So I'll try g4. Ah, okay. See, I should have seen that move. Although you still got rook f1, maybe that's still good. I should have seen that move though, that's bored, I didn't see that move. I've not seen anything else other than rook f1, right? So rook f1, g takes h4. Oh, okay, yeah, not so easy actually, because rook check, they got king g3. Not so easy. Still looks good for black, but... I'm going to try this move. Okay, so this is the key position, right? Yeah, I always find these positions difficult to calculate, because rook check, yeah, he does have king g3, which is actually a new move. Or what else? You got rook takes a3, but they can go to g4. There's no clear win. Yeah, all these lines look very dangerous for white, but it's like, you know, you got to be specific. It's concrete calculation. You can't just go, that looks promising. There's got to be like a killer blow. Okay, it's rook check, king g3, rook h3, king. Then you bring the other rook there, which is threatening checks, is also possible. Okay, there's also rook h3, king g3, rook a g1 check, rook g2. Do we have anything there? Not seen anything there really. Oh dear, it's hard as well. Okay, we'll start with a check. Oh, maybe you can take an h3, because if you take an h3, if they go rook h2, but otherwise you're threatening like rook check and then h2, and then you're probably going to end up queening the pawn somehow. Rook h2, then you have rook a3, and you win the rook. So maybe you just take with a pawn. Oh, frig. Is that wrong? No, also wrong. Also wrong. Or maybe it was rook a3, right? Ah, I see the... No. Oh, I'm just too tired to do this. Maybe we'll come back another day. I feel really tired now. Yeah, I think I'd take this asthma medication. Maybe it's not on a strong enough setting. Because I'll try every... Oh, no, hang on. So it must be rook h3, right? What? So we tried that move. We tried that move. We tried that move. What move have we not tried? King here? No. It's just guessing now. What the hell is this? Yeah, I think in a normal game I would have got this one wrong. Oh, you can do this, rook. And now rook a3, right? Is that it? Yeah, it's actually quite an... Oh, g3 check. Ah, very clever. Yeah, it's not easy to see that. Yeah, easy to miss. So, what was... I got most of the moves wrong, right? But And then went check, and then I started guessing, and actually, so what's the difference? Why doesn't that move just work just as well, right? I can understand why maybe that isn't winning. But why doesn't that move work just as well? If that move works. Because they go rook g2, the same defence. And then you don't have this later idea of going g3 check because the rook is on g1 rather than a1. Yeah, it's quite an obscure one. Yeah, not easy, this one, to be fair. It's tough, tricky. I would say that's quite a tough puzzle. Because like rook check and then, sorry, just go back a move. Explain why this is winning. Like, if they go here, I guess you just go g3, right? Or even maybe even take. If they come up, yeah, you're going to take. Probably. So I went here, and then this is winning now. Well, this is fairly obvious, because if they come back this way, then g3, same thing. Yeah, so I think that was quite a tough puzzle. I'll probably stop there. I might have a quick go. Should we have a quick go puzzle rush? You don't really need to use your brain for this. It's just all reaction. I keep thinking that the pawn on h7 is going to take the queen. Okay, take. Right. Oops. Oh, frig. Very tired. That was awful. One last go. He says, for the 18th millionth time. Still be here at like 10 o'clock. Yeah, I got the queen, right? Take and then march the pawn and then mate. Oh, hang on, check. Oh, fuck off, you idiot. What are you doing? Oh my god. Sorry, pardon my French. Right. Right. Queen d3, right? Is it knight c7? Hang on. Yeah. And then queen f8, right? Trade and rook c8. So looking for maybe this. Take. So this. So looking for mates, right? Are we looking for mates? Oh, queen g1 and knight. Well, I'm always looking for mates. Rook d1, and then check. They go. Oh, okay. So check. They go king e2 and hit the rook. So not so simple, but I guess that move. Oh, is it rook b1? Because you end up winning. Yeah, it's a bit obscure because you end up winning the material. Oh, you got this move. Right. Something to distract the queen, like rook c1. b3. And then just take, right? Okay, looks a natural take, and then knight e5. Okay, there's rook g7. How to mate? Let's take check. Not so easy to mate because bishop g6 go back to g5. What am I missing? Oh, then bishop e4, right? That was a gut feeling move. It was wrong. Sad. Sad but true. Knight c3. Just take, right? It's not. Okay, this is double check. Fuck. Oh, rook f5. I could take. What's the big deal? I take or what? Must take. And I got a 50. No, wrong. I wasn't sure. King f4 actually. Where did I get on the leaderboard? Ah, yeah, this Tetris Jeff. He's always ahead. It's like some German guy called Hagen Poch. It's like a freak. He's like he's probably like. He's like pinging on the autistic spectrum. Is my guess, but you know, nothing wrong with that, obviously. But yeah, a decent player as well, right? Like a proper player. 2500s, I think. Can we get the 58? Can we beat this Hagen guy? This guy's like my. Every time I'm near the top of the leaderboard, this guy is just killing me. We're gonna crush Hagen's score now. We're gonna do it. I'm not having it. I'm not having being number 2. I want to be number 1. I want to be number 1. Give me number 1, baby. Come to Papa with number 1. Come to Papa. Oops. Come to Papa. Oh, fuck. Oh, frig. Don't come to Papa then. Oh, my God. Don't come to Papa. See if I care. Ah, frig you. No, I was trying too hard to be too quick. I think that's the problem. You get out of your comfort zone. You're trying to be too fast, and then yeah, it's just like. I mean, it's fine when you got the easier ones, but with the more difficult ones, You got your like rhythm that you play at. To be fair, that guy's very good. You know, I'm like, I'm number 2. How many people are playing Puzzle Rush per hour? You know, like that's the only question. It's obviously not bad at Puzzle Rush, right? You know, if I can get like number 2 in the whole like website for that hour, then I'm obviously doing quite well, right? So I'd be curious to know what the figures are, how many people play Puzzle Rush per hour, just so I can boast about the fact I'm number 2, right? Rook check and then take. Rook e4 is mate. Okay, there's this. Okay, can you just take? So at some point I knew it'd throw it. It always throws in that little pawn move at the end, just to try and trick you, right? It's just so transparent. Oh, wow. Oh, were you really going to do that? I can't believe you. Right. It's Queen G4. Yeah. Maybe Knight F3 is the killer. No, that was Ross, that one. Okay, so something like Rook A8 is possible. And then trade, and then this. Okay, there's Rook F8 or Rook D3 looks most natural. But Rook D3, they go. I guess you go Rook D3, right? And now Rook check. Or maybe just come back, right? Is it this way? Yeah, this is new. How long for an obvious one? Rook D5 is an option. Queen D5. Is it Queen D5? Yeah. So moves like Knight F4 is possible. Or just Queen H1, right? Queen G1, they're going to come up. But then you take on A1. Do you win that way? Guess you do. To take, they want Rook check. This is winning anyway, right? Okay, you can take on E4. Maybe go Rook F1. No. Friggin' heck. No, I'm not as good as Hagen, I have to admit it. He's too good. Oh, it was awful. Oh well. Well, thanks anyway, everybody, for watching. Thanks a bunch. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll try and cut down on the swearing.